Hey guys, I'm Jonathan and welcome to your very first C++ tutorial. I'm assuming you're here because you want to create your very own program and have control over it. Perhaps you're wanting to make a simple calculator, an alarm clock, or even a game with graphics. Whatever it is, C++ can help you get there, and my tutorials will teach you how to do it. C++ is, in my mind, the very best. It combines simplicity with an incredible amount of control over every aspect of your program. It also contains one of the largest online support groups where you can just Google and find all sorts of helpful information on whatever you're working on. And there are so many chat groups out there, which makes it really nice when you come to a difficult problem to solve. Now, when we start creating a program, we need two things. We need some sort of text editor where we can write in our code. And then we need something that's called a compiler, which takes that code that we've written and turns it into a series of ones and zeros, which the computer can then read and run the program based off of. So one way to combine these two into a seamless integration is to use something that we call an IDE, which is pretty much just a program that combines all sorts of useful tools and a compiler all together to make programming super easy and efficient. It's kind of like the difference between writing in Notepad or writing in Microsoft Word. In Word, you got spell check and all sorts of useful features, making your writing job a whole lot easier. That's what an IDE is to a programmer. It just makes life a whole lot simpler. It also will help you with debugging, looking for errors, finding out exactly what went wrong in your program, and all sorts of other cool stuff. So let's go ahead and download. My favorite IDE is Visual Studio. So if you open a browser, we will type in Visual Studio. Click on that. Other IDEs include CodeBlocks, Eclipse, and NetBeans. But for me, Visual Studio has done the best job when it comes to C++ programming. If we click on visualstudio.com, should be one of the top options, and then select Downloads at the top left-hand corner of your browser window. Now, what we will be selecting is the free version of Visual Studio called Visual Studio Express. So if you scroll down a little ways, you should see that. And we will be selecting the Visual Studio Express for Windows Desktop. The Pro version doesn't really contain any features that I have ever needed. Pretty much everything necessary is contained in Visual Studio Express. Then select your language and then click Install Now. You will have to sign into your Microsoft account. You'll know you have a Microsoft account if you have an email address which ends in hotmail.com or something like that. But if you don't, just click Sign Up Now. Put in a username, a password, a few details about yourself. It's free, and you will have an account, and then you can download Visual Studio. Pause the video, and we will resume it once the program is downloaded and installed on your machine. Alright, I'm assuming you've installed Visual Studio. Now run it if you have not already. It shouldn't take too long. You should end up with a start page, perhaps a few more tabs up at the top, kind of like Browser has tabs in your IDE. What we'll be starting off with is creating a new program, or a project in this case. So if we go to File, New Project, then select a Win32 console application from the Visual C++ templates list. We'll also have to set a name for our program. In my case, we'll call it Guide. Click OK. Now we have a few options. Click Next. Leave console application checked, but uncheck precompiled headers. Leave the SDL checked and click Finished. The Visual Studio is now creating your program. It's setting up all the necessary files that you need, and we will be able to test it to see if there are any errors in it. We will not be actually typing in any code. When we create a new project, Visual Studio by default adds a few lines of code in it, as we can see here. So what we have is a file. This file is called cguide.cpp. This is the file that contains all of the code that we are writing, and this is the code it puts in. We won't go into details on what the code is. For now, we're just going to run it by clicking this big green button here called Local Windows Debugger. Click on that, and we should see a command prompt flash up and then instantly close if everything went well, and it should. Until next time, enjoy C++.